Hi, in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to trim a collection of lines at once to make them the same length so that you can be more efficient. The first thing we're going to need to do is make sure you have your line tool selected, and let's draw some lines. So I'm gonna have this single geometry method selected. I'm gonna do one click here, then again one click here, and now we're gonna draw the third line, which is going to be the reference by which we're going to split these other two lines. So I'm gonna do one click over here and one click over here. And one way to do this, which is the method I use when I only have to trim one or two lines, is I hold down the control button and then click, and now this line is trimmed all the way to this other line. That is one way to do it. But if you had way more of these lines and you wanted to trim them, then that would take too long. So another way of doing it is either to select these two lines and select your split tool, and then do one click over here, one click down, and then the third one I usually click on the side that I want to delete, so the third click is over here, and I just hit delete, and then I delete this line if I don't need it. I'm going to show you the same thing if we have multiple of these lines. So let's drag a few copies downwards. And you can still use this reference line. It doesn't have to be across all of the other lines. You can just leave it as it is. Select all of them and then do the same thing. Split, and then do one click over there and the second one downwards, and then the third click to the side that you want to either move or delete. You can do whatever you want with this side. Let's delete them in this case, and you don't need this line for anything than for the first click. So this could be like this over here, and then you could do the same thing. Select these lines, select your split tool, and then draw downwards and then delete. So this is, I think, the most basic situation. Another way to trim lines to get them to be the same length is to use the adjust tool. I'm going to delete this one over here. I'm going to draw one line over here, and then if I select all of these ones and click on the adjust tool, now if I do my click over here on this line, all of them are lengthened up to the point where they meet this line. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that in order to use this either the cut or the split tool, you have to make sure that your elements are not grouped together. I'm going to show you over here. If I were to use this other geometry method, which is the chained method, and draw a bunch of lines, and let's say we're going to have our groups unsuspended, so when we select one, all of them get selected. Then if we try to use the split tool, we're not going to be able to do it. You can tell that your groups are not suspended if once you select your line, all of the lines in the group get selected. If this happens, you have to unsuspend the group, so you either press Alt and G or this button here, and then do one click here and one click here, the third one on the side that you want to split it, and now you can do it. So that is basically how you use the cut and split and adjust tool in Archicad. Keep in mind that you can use all of these tools with all of the other elements in Archicad. So you can use them with walls. So if you have your wall tool selected and you have, let's say, one wall like this and one like this and one like this, and you want to cut these excess walls, you can just control and click each of these ends, and then the wall gets trimmed. If the intersection doesn't work right, you can just change this reference line location and then cut again, and now the intersection line looks nicer. Or you can use the other two methods. So let's say we have them longer again. You can select them and then use the adjust tool and then click on this line here so it automatically got trimmed. Or you can also use the split tool and then do one click here, and then they got split. You can do the same with fills, so let's draw a bunch of fills. If we select them all and use our split tool, you can do one click over here, one down, and then delete the excess. But for the fill you can only use the split tool, you cannot use the trim tool or the adjust tool. The same thing with beams and all the other elements in Archicad. You can use for some of them the adjust, for some of them the split, and for some of them the cut. You just have to make sure when you want to use these tools that your groups are suspended. If you keep trying to do this and Archicad doesn't let you, most likely your groups are not suspended. Okay, hope this helped. Bye!